Mic on.
Okay, let me mute this so I can show you. This is the topple where she goes to 66%, and then we go back to our position. I'm going to try to explain what I do here with the weavers. First of all, we always stand on the same hill. Um, I throw tar and circle up here, and I always bring my raven out because the weavers are going to be focused by ranged. Um, Melee will not do that much, and of course hunters are using fire oil. You can see me moving my camera around. That's me looking for weavers. You see, I see the first one spawning over there. I used catmint on my raven. What I did back there is I looked. Let me go back 1 second. So sometimes they'll spawn super close. So what you'll see me do, once I see the first weaver, is make sure there isn't another weaver coming from behind. See, I see that one. I'm okay. We got one over here. I use catmint, I click it, I look back to that direction. From that direction, there's a double spawn that comes. Um, I see nothing, so I'm okay, we're safe. And I tell them to target my target. I daze it with blinding flash, and when it wakes up, I'll stun it with light of the rising dawn. And then it's dead. Summon my raven, and then just chill, debuff if I can select the spawner. I try to fire and frost lore everything. If it were the first phase, I'd be using Ancient Craft now on the ads, because of course when you topple Shelob, you only need to remove corruptions. But in this case, I need to save Ancient Craft for when Shelob comes down. So I see the Weaver coming from the center of the room. I select it. I catmint. I use the Raven on it, and then again, Blinding Flash. And then when it wakes up, I'll Light of the Rising Dawn. Dismiss my Raven, resummon my Raven. Now this is the double spawn, that one that comes over there. For this one, what I do is I call out double spawn, and the yellow burglar will daze the other one. There's one that you can see right now on my screen. I'll select it now. That one. There's one, if you can see, I can use my mouse. This right here, that's another weaver. You will see that the burglar, this is him, I think. He will go ahead and daze this one. Leave it out until I decide to bring it back into group when this one is taken care of. So you'll see me do the exact same thing. I'll daze, and then when it wakes up, I'll let it rise. Oh, I reset, by the way, because sometimes you need to do that. Let me go back to that so you can see this clearly. So when they're very close to each other, I sometimes need to reset. So I daze, I dismiss my pet, I let it rise in dawn, I see the other weaver, so I start trying to click it, I resummon my pet, and I'll hit the reset now. There we go. I hit the reset, I'll daze it again, I'll use my pet. When it wakes up, I'll use Light of Rising Dawn again. Should be fine. Now I should dismiss my pet and resummon it again. And now I tell them to focus my current target. Daze it. Catmint is late, but whatever. Shelob is already coming down, so we gotta take care of this quick. Light of Rising Dawn is on cooldown, so I use Test of Will instead. You'll see it gets stunned in the middle of the group. I'm waiting to see that it gets killed. I use the bear because I'm feeling like it needs to die quickly. Bear helps out too. Then I go back to debuffing Shelob. Ideally, you debuff Shelob before she comes into group. This time, just the last Weaver was so late that I couldn't afford it, and you can't have a Weaver loose in group. So that's basically what I do. I use Ancient Craft now. It's late, but it's whatever. This burn is not super important. This is more about killing ads than killing Shelob. Hopefully Ancient Craft hit some of the spawners. I don't think it did, so that's not great. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this phase. I should be burning more, but I'm worried about debuffs and reapplying it as soon as Shelob goes away. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I do. There are situations where you might need to tell them. I might have to look for it. I might have a situation like that recorded where you might need to tell them ignore the second weaver, where there's a double spawn that I just mentioned, where you make the burglar days one of them. Ignore the second one because you have another one spawning from behind you, and maybe you just rather leave the dazed one out of group until you can deal with it and then deal with the current threat. But yeah, that's what I do. There's a lot of decision making involved though. This looks simple, but then it depends on how close to each other they spawn. It is obviously useful to know where the spawns are. You have the double spawn, the one right next to them, hill, and the one across the hall. Those are the three locations where you have to look out for. And if you always are in the same hill, it's easy because the spawns are always the same. And yeah, just be sure to sometimes be able to call out for an FM. I sometimes do that. Tell the burglar to FM my current target because I'm either running out of stuns. For some reason, they spawn ones close to each other. I don't know. I just overuse stuns and now I don't have anything. Whatever the case. So yeah, that's an example of what I do.